Hi everyone. You know it's an official vinyl community video when you take a drink on camera. Just a little cold water. So, hi everybody, how you doing? Yep. You know, I could clean this out of the way just to give the false impression that I'm ahead of myself when it comes to organizing the records, but I'm going to leave them here. Truth be told, I still have a long way to go, and this stuff, believe me, one day you guys are going to see a clean room here, okay? But anyway, I have a vacation from work, and therefore I'm going to be having a lot of time. I think I'm going to be making a lot of videos. So for those that enjoy my videos, be prepared for quite a number of them. Anyway, this video here is going to be, I think, a little on the lengthy side because I got a lot of Beatles finds to show. And after this is done, I also have regular non-Beatles albums to show and records and maybe some 45s and so on. So, looking around here, thinking, I might have missed some. But anyway, this is what I've got. Well, to start out with for Beatles, in this video, I'm going to show the contents of something that's not a record. It's a book that Ringo released. This is a book called Photograph by Ringo Starr. A beautiful looking cover and package here. Ringo put this book out based on photographs that he himself took over the years. And the dust jacket here is fun because when you take it off, it reveals the hardcover front cover. And I like the way the camera lens kind of goes over Ringo there. But I think maybe for the purposes of this video, it'll make it easier to show some photos, like taking the dust cover off. And I don't know about you other guys who make videos, but sometimes I wonder if it's worth risking damaging our material to show the stuff on camera. But okay, there were a lot of pages here. I haven't even looked at this yet. This comes a little slip there. Photograph portfolio. What happens if I turn this one light off, folks? It's a little darker in here without it, but I think we'll be all right. I'll leave it on. Okay. A lot of pictures to go through. I'm not going to go through all of them, obviously. But right off the bat, we got Ringo as a baby there. And an early picture of him with his mum. This is as much for my enjoyment as yours. Early photos of Ringo. What a great looking book already. Already I think this is a terrific book. And I could easily make the whole video just showing every photo, but obviously I can't do that. Look at this. They're too good, some of these. I mean, this is really... Look at that. Photo booth pictures of Ringo. I guess that's Ringo. I haven't read the context, but the text I should say, but I assume that it's Rory Storm with Ringo. Rory Storm and the Hurricanes. Let's go on a little bit in years. And you know, Ringo took pictures of the other Beatles. This is obviously a book that is going to have to take some real time to drink in. Ringo commented on this picture. He said it's interesting that there's a picture of John and nobody's really even noticing that he's there. In France, that's before they really hit. A lot of intimate photos. It was Ringo and Paul. I think anybody out there who's a big fan by now can really tell that this is a very good book. There's a picture of Murray the K on there, and a great picture of George. I have I don't know if it's an original submarine race watches sweatshirt or a replica. I think it might be original. It's like brand new, but I have one of those shirts. Another Paul shot. I can see I'm spending way too much time here. Look at that great shot of Ringo and John. So you see what the book is, and you can see why it's pretty necessary for Beatle fans who like to have everything. And okay, one more towards the end. I'll just look for something decent here. Well, there's a picture of Ringo himself. Really happy to have this book. I've been watching a lot of DVDs lately that I get. I get a lot of unauthorized DVDs of interviews with all the Beatles, group and solo, and I was watching a lot of Ringo interviews from that period where he was promoting the book, and I said, I got to get that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is show this next. This is, you can't find these very often anymore. It's a long box version of the Beatles Anthology 1, still sealed. A little ripped, but you don't see these long boxes anymore. And what happened with this was I was at my store, and a guy came in wanting to sell some CDs, and this was one of them. And for whatever reason, the guy in this who owned the store decided that he would pass on them. He didn't need these. And you know, when the guy was about to leave, I said, if you want to sell, you know, then I jumped in because I can't do that otherwise. You know, it's not my business. But if they're going to refuse them, the guy's on his way out the door, I stop and say, you know, I'll buy this one for you, $5. The guy took $5 for it. So that was nice to have. Okay, where do I begin here? I got some 45s here to show. Well, actually, I say some 45s, but this is a Japanese 45. It's got Long Tall Sally and I Call Your Name on it. And a lot of times these original Japanese 45s are red vinyl. This one is a standard black vinyl. So, okay. I got another copy in better condition of the Walking on Thin Ice single. This was the song that John Lennon and Yoko were working on the night John was killed, I hate to say. But I have this already. I bought it back in the day, and I probably got some minty copies. I'm guessing mine has the inner credits and lyrics. But, yeah, I got this for nothing. So I kind of upgraded it. I know one of mine has a Sam Goody residue sticker. So it's not too nice. Now these were interesting to find. These are 3, I guess, flexi disc singles that were issued by Sam Goody Record Store in 1982. And there are 4 tracks on each one. This one here has, it's hard to read them. No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. All My Loving, there's 2 tracks, I'm sorry, on one side. All My Loving and You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. And these play really great. They play at 33 1/3, I should mention. I played this one. And it actually sounds good for a flexi disc. Some more with the back. And this next one here, I have them in these plastic sleeves. I'm taking them out, of course. This one here plays, hard to read, Magical Mystery Tour, and Here Comes the Sun. The backing is the same on all these. And the last one, and I'm told there are only 3 of these, red, white, and blue. So I don't think I'm missing any in the series. This one plays. God, it's hard to read against the picture. Rocky Raccoon and Why Don't We Do It in the Road, which is an interesting pairing. Okay, that's very interesting. Those are. Now we got some picture discs. Recently I went on a record road trip and I found this, which is called Timeless 2. I've had Timeless 1 for many years. This is Timeless 2. And I'm guessing it's interview stuff and things like that, because I remember Timeless 1. Timeless 1, I think, had a lot of interview stuff on it, and memory is failing me as to what else was on it at the moment. Okay, the other day I was in my record store, and a guy came in, and he had a massive collection of Rolling Stones albums from all over the world, and he had a massive collection of Elvis albums. He said he has a ton of Beatles albums that would make my mouth water from all over the world. That's just the kind of collection I'm looking for. Unfortunately, he said he's not sure he's going to sell the Beatles. He may not part with those, or he's not going to sell them to my store anyway. Maybe somewhere else he's going to go. So, but he did have a couple of picture discs that he was willing to let go, and there's one of them. There's the other side. And I put some of this on. I heard some interviews again with the Beatles. I wasn't sure if these were going to be BBC tracks. A lot of this one here, I have this one. I'm going to take this out. I have one like this that has BBC tracks on it, but I don't think this is what it is, because there's a back photo here that explains that the Beatles talk with Jerry G. If you can read that. And I'm going to see what the other side looks like. I haven't actually looked at the other side yet. Very nice picture. There's a nice shot of them. And on the bottom there, on the left, you've got Mal Evans with the glasses there. Lovable road manager. Big teddy bear. And it says on this album that one of the things they discuss is their meeting with, I think Paul, it says, discusses their meeting with Elvis from 1965. And there's not much really said much about that, but I think if it's actually an interview talking about it, the meeting from actually 65 when it happened, and not, later on in retrospect, that would be pretty interesting. Okay, I was at another record store recently, and I picked this bootleg up, which I used to have. It's called Extended Sessions, and I really got this one only for the cover. I had this in my original collection. Now it's back again. I have another album that I've gotten back. It's a double record set, but at this particular point, there's really nothing on here. I mean, a lot of stuff on here, but it's all stuff, that we have before. I got it mainly because the cover is so cool, and also for nostalgia reasons, trying to get my old collection back to where it once belonged. Okay, couldn't resist that. So, okay, here's another. This was, I wasn't sure if I did the right thing by getting this. This is another bootleg that I got. The Beatles, Her Majesty, just very basic. In fact, when you look at this, it's just really a piece of paper with the record in there. And, it's more of that boring, in my opinion, even as a fan, let it be, get back rehearsal footage. Although the Her Majesty version of the song here is a, long version of them doing a jam of it, I think, and oops. It's interesting, So there's some decent stuff on here, but I think John Lennon said something, I'm going to paraphrase it, something about not even the biggest knocked out Beatle fan in the world could listen to a lot of that stuff. He says something about the longest ponderous amount of badly recorded shit with a lousy feeling to it ever, he called it. And a lot of that stuff I feel that way about. Okay, here's something I've been showing in some of my videos, a tribute to John Lennon, 101 Strings. And as people have rightly pointed out, most of the songs here are Paul McCartney songs. So it's kind of funny, really. Some tribute to John, huh? But, yeah, you know, heart was in the right place. Something I don't have. Here's an... I couldn't resist this. When I see an album like this that's so cheap, I get it. I mean, I already have the George Harrison self-titled album in the shrink, but what I like about it is it's got that Corvette sticker, and not only does it have a Corvette sticker, but it's a nice green that goes with the very like gardeny green summer day kind of feel of this album. So I thought, you know, why not? You know, if you can get something like this for $3 or $4, $5 in the shrink. You know, it looks nice. What the hell? Okay, I showed this in another video. I thought that I had this sealed already. I don't, so I lucked out. It's Tug of War, still in shrink, never opened with the hype sticker from 1982. And now I have a sealed copy of it in addition to the plain copy that I have. So for those people out there that say, these albums are meant to be opened and enjoyed, man. Well, I am enjoying the open copy I have. This is an extra collectible that will be kept in the shrink. So that's how that goes. Now, the next item is extremely interesting to me. I just did some research on this. I saw this at one of the stores that I went to on my road trip recently, and I didn't really discuss it then, but I'm discussing it now. It's an album called The Original Greatest Hits by the Beatles, and now, upon looking at this, I said, this is a bootleg, I said to myself. I said, I wonder if it's an original copy or if it's a bootleg. And it turns out there were no real legitimate copies. This was always a bootleg. They never had a legitimate copy of this. In fact, research shows me that this particular album is the Beatles themselves. I thought that by looking at this, I thought it was just one of those knockoff albums by Beatles imitators like the Manchesters, Liverpool Lads, or... you know, the Bugs or somebody like that. But it turns out these are original Beatles songs that are put on here. And what's interesting also is Love Me Do, that's featured on this album, is actually the version that Ringo plays on that was very rare at the time. This came out in 1964, and it's considered the actual very first Beatles bootleg ever made. That's what they're saying anyway from the research. It says, this is the world's first Beatle bootleg, and it was put out on the market in 1964. These are actual Beatles songs, and it's incredible to think that the Love Me Do version is the rarity with Ringo on the drums, which didn't really come out here in the States, where we really got to hear it till 1980 with the Rarities album. So this is really quite a find, and it's in minty condition. I mean, it really, there's no, seam splits or anything. And the record looks unplayed. I played it just to be sure, and the quality is not really good. It's a little on the slightly like muted kind of side. I mean, very slightly. You're not having an album like this in your collection to play it. You're having an album like this just to have it as a collectible. You always have the regular tracks to play. But it's interesting that this came out on the market in 1964, and once the people realized that people were stocking it, that it was a unofficial release, they yanked it. So I'm glad to get that. Okay, what's remaining here are Beatles related items like this one here, Beatle Ballads by the Johnny Mann Singers. This is Beatles related stuff. This thing I picked up, Breaking It Up on the Beatles tour, Jackie DeShannon, and honestly, there are no, unless I'm mistaken, there are no Beatles songs on here. This is a complete ripoff, just trying to associate the Beatles name with selling a record. And again, hype, anything like that, I collect. I'd never seen this album before, and I'm surprised because it's actually an album that looks like it would be common. It's on Phase 4, which of course, there are a lot of Phase 4 records you find in the bins. It's the Big Band Beatles songs. And there's a nice cover with the Beatle mop top wigs hanging out. Okay, and the last item I'm going to show is an upgrade. I actually have it as a promo. This is the Hollywood Strings play the Beatles Songbook Volume 5. The one I have is really in much worse condition than this, and this is definitely an improvement. Although the one I have has the promo, diagonal promo, like kind of stamped in with the holes. You might know that. Has that on it. So so it's not, even though I have it already, the original is a promo. The one I had is a promo, so I got it in better condition here, and a promo to boot. To boot. Not a bootleg though. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a vinyl finds of all kinds next, and I hope you'll watch that. Everybody, take care.